Welcome to the Pesky Report, a podcast for Red Sox fans. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Pesky Report. This is episode number 172, brought to you by Belly Up Sports Media. My name is Brad Chandler. With me today, I have Ed and Chum Lee. How are we doing tonight, guys?
That's just not my name. It's simply not my name. This is fucked up.
How did you get Chun Li?
Chum Lee from Pawn Stars?
From Pawn Stars.
Oh, I thought it was like Chun Li from...
Yeah, from fucking Street Fighters? Jesus Christ, Ed. Now you're frozen. Of course.
Rip Ed.
Rip Ed. All right, well, how you doing? How you doing, Chum Lee / Hogdale?
Go fuck yourself. I'm having a bit better, but we move talking about the Sox because this is what we do. This is what we do.
This is what we do. Fucking, I just love the way that Ed looks in that fucking frozen picture in that frame.
Yeah, it's really funny.
It really is. Here, I'm gonna boot his ass out of here, and he can
refresh and come back.
He can come back when he gets his shit together. Stop having shitty internet, Ed. So, yeah, fucking. It's been a while since I've been on with you. And last episode I got to chat with Brady. That was fun. We barely even talked about the 2022 Red Sox.
Yeah, why would you do that? Why would you torture yourself by doing that?
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I don't know what just happened there. It wasn't like the internet just entirely stopped being connected, not just like moving slowly. What did I miss? Did anything happen? Did Hogdale use one of his super moves?
What super move is that? His super sexy move?
I don't know. You said Chun Li, so I just think Street Fighter.
I said Chum Lee from Pawn Stars.
No, Chumley from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Come on, fucking pull your head out of your ass.
Was Chumley the one with like the big old schnoz that was in the yellow dorm? Yeah. What a strange, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been such a strange franchise where they went from like whatever the original one was to like, well, let's do card games, but it's also kind of like Harry Potter a little bit. Like they're gonna live in dorms and shit.
All right.
Yeah, I don't.
Now you've lost me. I have no fucking clue.
Brad's at a loss. He's like, what?
Yeah. I know Chum Lee from fucking Pawn Stars. That's it. I know anything about anime. I know a little bit about Dragon Ball Z. That's about it.
Oh, I fucking love Dragon Ball Z. That's my jam right there.
I started getting into it a little bit when I was maybe about 10 years ago. 10, 15 years ago. Whatever. So let's start talking about these Boston Red Sox. Hey, man. They took a series against the American League East.
Another one, yeah. It's like we're blowing all of our loads at once now, We had that series win against the Orioles, a series win against the Yankees. Then they got swept by Toronto.
Can we stop calling that a fucking series? Jesus fucking... I know, like, we've been joking about it, but it's literally... A series is more than one... And
Brad, you dare piss on the sanctity of the one-game series? How dare you?
It's one game. It wasn't a series.
It is one game. My brother in Christ. It was literally one game.
Fuck off. We just got the news that the news is being reported, or sources are saying, trust me, bro.
Exactly.
That Austin Davis is going to be designated for assignment by tomorrow. And it's exciting because now we get to see, hopefully, somebody coming from Worcester. There's rumblings. I don't know why there's rumblings that Cassis is going to come up for that. He's not even on the 40-man. So there would have to be there wouldn't have to be another move, right? If he got DFA'd. But even so, they're not going to bring Cassis up for a pitcher being DFA'd. Danish is being talked about. There's a couple other people out there that could be coming up. I know there's a couple of guys that we are excited about. Hopefully, one of them gets called up. shit, screw it. Bring them all up. That's literally what I want. Who? What are your guys like? I know we were talking a little bit before we started the episode, but who do we see as getting like the next chance? And I'm not saying this because of what we were talking about before recording and whatnot, but like we got Bayo who's going tomorrow. We've seen Danish, we've seen Winkowski, we've seen Cutter Crawford. Who do you guys think gets the next push?
So there are 4 big names that I would look at the 3 or 4 names at the AAA level. There's friend of the show, Zach Kelly, who's having a very good year at AAA right now. He has over 49.2 innings. He has a 2.72 ERA at 72 strikeouts. That's 72 strikeouts, and he hasn't even hit 50 innings yet. So that's pretty. It's we talked to Zach a few months ago. I've gotten to see him pitch a few times now at AAA, and he of that group really does seem like the one that's the most ready. The changeup is very deceptive. There's kind of a parachute motion with it, and it looks the same as his fastball when it's coming out of his hand, which is significant because his fastball can top out at 98. So
what's his changeup at?
It's like mid 80s, so it's a pretty steep drop between the two.
True changeup.
Yeah, and he has like some other pitches, like there's a little bit of a cutter there, a little bit of a breaking pitch, but the fastball changeup combination with him are really effective. Now, the control I've seen him have a few games where the control just isn't there and he has to kind of work his way out of it, which can be frustrating. But the dude battles and the raw stuff is there. And he's got a great build for a pitcher. Good guys. He was signed for $500 and kind of has been able to push through that his whole career. He was an undrafted free agent. Guys making it all the way to the big leagues from that doesn't happen very often. We were spoiled here with like Daniel Nava, but it does not happen a lot. So Kelly is the first guy that comes to mind. There's also Frank German or Herman. I'm not really sure which one it is. That's really something I should have asked when I had the chance to, and I didn't. But he's probably, as far as like pure stuff goes, he's got the best in AAA right now. He's got his fastball can hit 100, usually sits around 97, but he throws it for strikes. He's got a breaking pitch with that, a bit of a changeup. 24 years old. He came over in the trade with Adam Ottavino.
Right.
Yeah, he was the prospect they bought in that trade. So those are the 2 that I personally am most excited about. But there are 2 others. There's Eduard Bizardo, who has done, we saw him briefly.
Saw him last year, right?
Yeah, very briefly, and then he got hurt, but he's been good in AAA. And there's another guy named AJ Politi who's having a statistically similar year to Kelly. He's a year younger than him though, and he hasn't been at AAA as long as Kelly has. So I really do think that Kelly would be first in line. I would have to think.
What about you, Hogdale?
Obviously, in terms of who's most likely, I always default to Ed because he's our big boy with the big boy sources, and he just watches way more of the games. So I usually would default to what he says. I would love to see Zach Kelly up, genuinely. Just any kind of shakeup, new blood in this bullpen, which has just felt stagnant for more than a month now. It's mind blowing that none of them have been. Any one of the 4 haven't been called up sooner. What's the harm? What are we even doing here?
Yeah, I think out of the 4, I think Bizardo probably gets. You also got Danish too. We didn't mention him. He was just activated in option 2, Worcester. But I think of those 4, I think Bizardo probably gets the chance just simply because of the fact that he's already been up. But who would I like? I friend of the show, absolutely. Let's get Mr. Kelly a chance here. Let him fly, kick him out of the tree. I think it's time. It really is, and I don't. If I was Kelly, I'd probably be pissed off. You've got Brasier, you've got Davis, and today Sawamura was fucking awful. Like what's like I would just be there like, what the fuck, guy? What the fuck? Like I know I can do better. I can't do worse.
Like, this is far from a set in stone bullpen where we got just a bunch of rocks who we really are reliable on. It should be and always should be a fierce competition. And some of these dudes just for a bit now have been clearly not good enough. And they should have been replaced in order to give younger guys a look.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for giving guys a leash. I don't like the idea of just being reactionary because a guy has a bad stretch. Like, we saw that with Brasier earlier this year. Remember when he was DFA-er, and then he kind of readied the ship for a little bit. He righted it. He was all right for about a month, I think. And, now he's very hittable again. Davis, I don't know. Like, Davis has been in free fall since, like, July. And it's sad because he was really good in April, May, June.
So
I don't know what happened
now. The biggest problem now is, like, we're talking about, like, Kelly, Rizzardo, whatnot. And if it is, in fact, true that Davis got DFA'd, we only have one lefty in the pen.
Yeah. And two on I think it's really only two on the 40-man also. I think the only other one is Darwinson right now.
Oh, remember when the problem was we had too many lefties?
Yeah. I do recall that.
That was like a thing for like a month.
Yeah. I mean, Strom's been good. I like Strom, but yeah, besides him, there isn't really. And the thing is, even for like the minor league depth, there isn't really a particularly good lefty reliever on the AAA team. To look at anybody, like I would say the second best lefty reliever in the system right now is probably Brendan Nail in AA.
What about Brendan?
I would be willing to bet that you guys haven't heard of Brendan Nail. Salucci is in high A, so he's got a little ways to go. He has been pretty hot lately. Salucci faced four batters and struck out all four of them the other day, which was cool.
Brandon, what's his last name? Woodruff, is it?
Woodruff?
For the Brewers?
Why am I thinking Woodruff?
Yeah.
The fucking psycho guy that.
Walter. He's a starter and he's hurt.
Fuck.
So that's apparently I don't know
I don't know why I was thinking Woodruff.
God, if we had Woodruff, that would be awesome. That guy's a legit frontline starter. I like him.
Imagine if we had Hader right now.
That would be okay not having. We could probably get him pretty cheap, I would think.
Dude, the Brewers are like the five head. And they're like, okay, this guy's cooked. Get rid of him while we can get something good.
Fucking fleece the Padres.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
That is insane. They traded like a great closer. All right, now that we're talking about fucking closers and shit, did you guys hear the story about Aroldis Chapman?
Let's go.
I want you to tell it, Brad, because I feel like it's a very relatable story for you.
Oh my god! All right, so Aroldis Chapman, known woman beater, whatever, shoots guns at fucking women.
Noted piece of shit, Aroldis Chapman.
Noted piece of shit. Aroldis Chapman is headed to the 15-day IL because of an infection inside and a tattoo that he got most recently. Now, I was talking to Doink about this because I'm not sure if you guys do. Either one of you have tattoos?
I do not.
Is Ed fucking frozen again?
No,
okay. I'm good. I just don't have any tattoos. I look at that like think, oh, this conversation again.
Okay, so typically, like when I get a tattoo, I try to wait until like the end of summer, maybe about fall time, winter time. Winter time is probably like the best, in my opinion, because you don't have to expose it, anything like that. Sun doesn't hit it, whatever. Well, Aroldis Chapman decided that he was going to go get a leg tattoo, which is kind of weird because you're getting all that for a guy that sweats like buckets. He got a leg tattoo, and now it's infected. So now that has affected his team, and now he's on the IL because of it.
Yeah, gotta say, as a person who is preying on him and the Yankees' downfall, I revel in this entire situation. It's just so fantastic. Remember, like when this is the Yankees' generational season, like this is going to be their 2018 Red Sox season, and now they've been passed up by two teams in the standings for best record in the league, that being the Dodgers and the Astros, who are both exponentially better baseball teams.
Are there 3 teams?
Is it 3 now?
I could have sworn it was 3.
It might be. The Mets might have passed them up too.
Yeah, the Mets are at 82. They're at 78.
They're not even the best team in their own city.
Go, man.
Yeah. I mean, the Dodgers are just fucking not like. I don't like. Fuck the Dodgers. Seriously.
The Dodgers hit his 31st home run.
Yep, he's having a monster year. Mookie.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
He's on pace for 40.
I would love to see like a Dodgers Astros World Series. I would love to see the Astros just fucking destroy them too.
Dude, the Dodgers just lost Walker Buehler for the year, and it did nothing to them. Because Dustin May came back, and this dude looks like just the best pitcher in the league, which is insane.
Speaking of best pitcher in the league, dude, fucking, we gotta talk about it, dude. Rich Hill yesterday.
Yeah, true. Dick Mountain living up to the moniker.
He
was
tremendous. Dude, they were fucking like every fucking third pitch, they were like time. I was listening to the game today on the radio. They were like, they were shitting all over Salamore. They were like, did he not pay attention to what Rich Hill was doing yesterday? Like, it takes 35 seconds in between pitches. Rich Hill took like literally like he'd get the ball back and he's like, yep. And I love the fact that the fucking Rays literally, I made a post about this, but I love the fact that the Rays are like, oh, they get a lefty on the mound. We're going to throw all righties in the roster, in the lineup, and fucking 3 hits. I think it was 3 hits and 1 walk and 11 strikeouts. There's only 3 people who have done that before. And I think he goes 7 innings, right?
Yeah, 7.
Yep. Yeah.
3 people have done it before. Nolan Ryan, Roger Clemens, and fucking Rich Hill.
That's at the age of 42, right?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Gotta say, though...
Nolan Ryan did it like 8 times, though.
Do you think when the pitch clock gets implemented next year, Rich Hill's just going to have a seizure?
You know what I think is going to happen with the pitch clock next year? I was thinking about this recently. I think that we're going to see velocity go down a little bit because guys aren't going to be – I think that they're going to be not throwing as hard.
I just can't wait to see offense go up. It's going to be fun.
I don't did they say that it was coming in 2023?
Yes, they agreed upon it. I think by the latest 2024, but it's been agreed upon like that within the next 2 years. That will.
I honestly don't think they should.
Oh, I want them to. I just going to AAA games and seeing it with the pitch clock.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why I don't think they should. You're gonna you implement it in the minor league, and then when you bring the guys up, they're already used to it.
Yeah.
I don't think you need a pitch clock in the majors.
Okay, but then you're waiting another like 8+ years for all the minor league guys to come up and eventually slowly replace it. Just do it now.
So,
I think
I just want a better product,
From my understanding, Brad's point is that you just teach them to throw faster, and then like you don't have to enforce it with a clock. You don't have to actually like.
It's basically it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but again, it'll be like a decade before that crop of minor leaguers replaces all of the current major leaguers. I don't want to wait that long. Fuck that. Hey, old man, throw faster.
Hogdale, do you watch minor league baseball?
Nah, not a ton. I would forbid.
Okay.
That's the legend with that. I do know because I've seen the statistics that on average it shaves off 30 minutes a game of just unnecessary filler time.
Yeah, I've been happy with getting out of like Woo Sox games before like 9:30 a lot of the time. Like,
and with the increase in offense coming with the shift being limited next year and pitchers adjusting to the pitch clock, it's really like I doubt the time is even going to change a ton. Like I bet like the change is like 10 to 15 minutes, so it won't be horrific. It's just that empty time of just filler nothingness that no one gives a shit about is being replaced with baseball being played that people enjoy.
Yeah. And I'm honestly fine with that. I don't think that I just it doesn't the pitchers' vague discomfort with it that have been like like the David Phelps and David Prices of the world that like a nice long period in between.
Price is gonna fucking retire.
You're right. If you wanted to like ditch it for the playoffs because there's more mind games there and you're on a much more limited scale of like limited games left, I'd be completely fine with that. Just to bring the mind games back, but I mean, in general, I'm so for the pitch clock.
Oh God, guys, I gotta show you this.
Oh God, what?
It's a thing Robert's fucking posted. It's actually kind of funny. He goes, "You hate to see this." Give me a sec.
I'm thinking about that Aroldis Chapman thing now. Are they actually worse because he got hurt?
Coming around first. See, it looks like he just
wow.
Ate shit.
Foot as it either.
Oh, okay, he's fine.
He's fine.
Hit to the right side. Noisy has it. Tag. Flip to first.
Jesus.
They split with the A's, which is really funny.
Coming around first.
Look at him go.
It looked like he just.
Whee! He's going on an adventure.
He just said, "Wee." What was your question about Chapman?
How much does him being hurt really hurt the Yankee bullpen? Because I feel like anytime I read about him, he's just getting blown up, and he has like isn't his ERA like above 4? Like
he's been better of late, and it
when they
does
took
hurt them because of their depth.
They took him out of the closer role, so like after they took him out of the closer role, he started getting a little bit better, I think.
Yes.
And they were talking about possibly putting him back there, which is a fucking please do.
Yep, they're talking about because they have a ton of injured guys right now. Like Clay Holmes is out, so
yeah, isn't that a fucking phantom injury?
Did he just get broken by the Red Sox that one game?
Yes.
Yes.
That and obviously being overworked. They literally did to him what we did to Matt Barnes last year.
They did to him what we did to Schreiber this year.
That too. Like you can't stop overusing your bullpen guys, for fuck's sake.
Well, you need your starters to go fucking 6-7 innings, not 5 1/3.
Nope, 5.
4 2/3.
No, 4 or 5, then let the bullpen get the job done.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you know? People think all these teams think they can be the Rays, and like you can't unless you have that insane organizational depth. You don't have it. You simply do not have it.
The Rays.
I also fucking hate the Rays. I just hate how they do business, and I hate that it consistently works.
I mean, the Dodgers are the Rays with a budget,
Yeah, it's like I can respect the Dodgers because at least they pay their best players.
The Red Sox are like the bastard child of fucking the Dodgers and the Rays. Like it's like the Rays and the Dodgers both fucked, and here's the Red Sox right now.
I hate that every team is paying their really young studs like really early on, and like we just missed the boat on that apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any way that they get through this like coming off season without giving Rafi a really impressive extension.
You fucking have to.
Yeah, like you can't, because with the way that it's going, you need that premier player, and like if it's not Rafi, you don't have anybody coming potentially until, like, I would say honestly, like Marcelo Meyer is ready, or like
there's
maybe Miguel
zero reason not to pay Rafi. And dude, I hate that like the Braves were such on the cutting edge of this. The way the game is moving, you don't pay the old guys all the money. You get them when they're really, really young. They haven't hit their full potential yet. And you give them what they think at the time is a mega deal, when really it's going to be a fucking bargain bin basement deal by the time they actually hit their potential.
Well, that's what I think is happening right now. That's why I think we didn't really see any huge deals this offseason.
Rip Ed. Rip Ed again. He was about to have a great point, and this man was
you got to start that over, Ed.
Yeah. So the TLDR of that is basically, I think that they're trying to have some money in the chest so they can pay Cassis and maybe Bayo and maybe Mata, depending on how they do once they're brought up full time at like a pretty team friendly deal. Like 8 years or something like that. And take them through arbitration.
I mean, even with that, there's still no excuse not to pay Rafi. Like, even with that, you have to pay him. It's non-negotiable. You have to pay him.
So, did you say that they're waiting for Casas? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think that they might be just keeping some of the money in the chest so that they can give him a significant deal instead of spending on like I don't know who was like instead of spending it on like Kyle Schwarber for 4 years.
Yeah.
I gotta say though, like at least with like the Mariners, there's like deal to J-Rod, much more player friendly compared to what the Braves did, because if he hits all of his incentives, it'll be like a $400 million deal, and if he easily could live up to that hype,
I think it's 13
or 14.
Jesus. Yeah, he's got the largest contract for the Mariners ever, and they had Griffey, A-Rod, Ichiro, and who the fuck was there?
Randy Johnson.
They had Randy, but who was their DH too?
Edgar Martinez.
Edgar Martinez. Yeah.
And man, J-Rod could easily live up to that contract. Easily, like if he lives up to his potential.
I still don't really know what to make of J-Rod. I just don't think I've seen him play enough to like. I mean, it seems like a good deal. I just can't say that I like know.
He's just so excited.
I'm not like a J-Rod expert.
Yeah,
you know who else was exciting? He got an extension. Fernando Tatis Jr.
Okay, and he's probably still going to live up to that contract. I know everyone's out on him right now. He's 24. In fact, he might be 23.
I think he's 23.
Fucking. Oh, wow. Like, he's only in the 2 seasons we've had hit like 30 home runs and 40 home runs. What a failure of a contract. He got suspended. Oh, boo-hoo. He has another decade left on the deal. Whatever. He's going to live up to the contract just fine.
I want to see like a Gilligan
negative
cut.
Example. Get the fuck out of here.
I want to see a Gilligan cut.
How often has he been hurt?
How often was Aaron Judge hurt until he wasn't?
We're not talking about Judge.
Okay,
I'm talking about injured players in general. I'm talking about injured players in general. A guy's always injury prone until he suddenly isn't.
I want to see like a Gilligan cut of this, so it's like you saying that, and then 6 years from now, man, Fernando Tatis hasn't been healthy for 6 years.
That's hilarious. That'd be really funny. I hope
we just cut to that, like you have like a top hat and you're smoking a pipe or whatever, like is in vogue at that 6 years from now.
That's the thing is like everyone's out on him, and right now because I mean he's a fucking idiot. That's undisputable that he's a fucking idiot. The motorcycle thing. What's up?
Do you believe it was ringworm?
Fuck no. No. Come on.
Okay, at least
how
you're not
stupid
that fucking gullible.
I think he took steroids to help him mend his injury faster, which a lot of football players have done in the past, and he got caught. He got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. You know, maybe he's been taking it this whole time, but I just doubt it. We'll see. Like if his production tremendously falls off, then we'll know. But I'm pretty sure he was using it to get back from an injury quicker because he probably felt like a fucking idiot for the way he got hurt.
He's going to be, he's going to be getting tested a lot more, I think, though. I think we're going to see, because remember how Ortiz would always be like, I get tested more than anybody else. That's about to be.
Yeah, the random testing. Yeah.
Yeah. And rightfully so, honestly. I mean, you get caught, like, of course, like, you're going to be the first person.
Just don't call it random. Just say that they have increased testing.
I kind of like that. It's like you go back and the testing, instead of being random, like if you're suspended, you come back and it becomes like a weekly testing thing.
No, I get that. Just say it's weekly testing.
Probation.
Yeah, say you're like, you're on probation. You have weekly testing. Don't say, it's you were just randomly tested. Stop hiding. Just say, you fucked up. This is your part of your punishment. But yeah, man. I mean, I think Tatis is probably still going to live up to that contract. I mean, it's funny to me that everyone's out on him. He's 23. This isn't like A-Rod getting caught, for PEDs again at like in his mid-30s, where his career's almost over. The dude's still got a whole career ahead of him.
Yeah. No, he's definitely an exciting player and all of that stuff. I just
a fucking idiot.
Yeah, and like people talk about maturity, like, oh, why haven't you called the guy up yet? Like with people saying, like, Even like if Marcelo Mayer was hitting bombs and like, something like 500 in high A, like, like they need time to grow. They need time to like emotionally get there in a lot of cases. Yeah. There's some people that can hit. There's some people that they're 18 and they're like act like a 35-year-old. Like that happens too, but it's not obviously that's not going to be everybody. That's not going to be the majority.
Boston Strong is saying that the Red Sox need to get rid of Brasier too. If the Red Sox are really going to clean house, Brian Brasier has to go. He has been awful since that magical 2018 season.
Listen, this roster should look completely different like next year by the time next season starts. This offseason needs to be filled with some overwhelming change. A bunch of new guys brought in.
Okay, so Hogdale, I want to run with that for a second. Who would be, if you had to pick 3 guys in 3 different positions for them to fill it, who would those top 3 guys be? Like, and these are realistic. You can't just say, like, well, I want a time machine and to get Mike Trout circa 2018. We'll go further back, get Lou Gehrig to play first base pre getting sick. Like, yeah. Who are those 3?
It's tough because a lot of my changes that I think are going to happen are dependent on current contract situations happening. Where, like, I've really talked myself into thinking I really think Xander's going to be gone. Like, to me, I'd be okay if they brought him back. I can write him off. Like, his lack of power this year is just like he's had an injury he's been playing through. Like, I'm completely fine with that. But I really think he's going to be demanding too much money for like what his production this year has shown. So that would be one of them. Like, I'd say, like, get a really good stopgap shortstop until how many years it takes for Meyer to get ready.
Okay, but so I'm going to list you a few of the shortstops that are available right now.
Trey Turner's number 1.
It's Trey Turner. There's Dansby Swanson. There's Carlos Correa. You could theoretically get like John Segura to come in and do it. There's Jose Iglesias.
Not. I like Jose Iglesias not that much. Not Jose Iglesias. Man, I would nut so fucking hard if they got Trey Turner on like a 4 or 5 year deal. Like,
yeah, you're not going to be nutting that. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not. So tragic. That's the thing, though, is like, I don't know where Xander thinks he's getting this money. Dude, Carlos Correa last year didn't get his mega deal. You think you're going to get it? It's not happening.
I think Carlos Correa's deal had a different stipulation in it. And I think it had to do with the fact that he changed agents in the middle of the negotiation.
Yeah, the process.
Yeah, so what happened is like Boris isn't getting any of the money from that contract. His previous agent's still getting that money. So there's a good chance that he's going to opt out this season just so that Boris can get that money.
90% sure no player is that close to their agent that they would be willing to do that. Like, none. Like, they would compromise their own money and well-being for just their agent. If Correa's opting out this year, it's because he thinks he can get a better deal, not just because to help out Scott Boras.
I'm not saying that's to help out Scott Boras. I'm just saying, like, that's why he ended up with the deal he did.
He might not opt out, too, just because, like, Correa's had a good year, but not Correa level, like, to what we expect him to be.
Not
like
Astros Correa.
Not Astros Correa.
I've never been that. Like, honestly, last year I was higher on Xander than I was Correa, and I still am.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to age well.
No,
all right,
probably
not. So we've got Trey Turner. So who are the other two there?
Yeah.
Yeah, who are the other options? Correa? Who else was it?
Correa. There's Correa. Dansby Swanson, I think, is the other big one.
God. Dansby want a long-term deal. You wouldn't be able to get him. His is such a high risk too, because this is the first year he's had truly elite production.
He's been good. His floor is, I think, reasonably high just because of his defense.
Yeah, his floor is good. Yeah, but like it's just he's a weird one to give a long-term deal to.
He strikes out a lot, and he doesn't the amount of strikeouts. He doesn't walk that much. And I liked Dansby Swanson quite a bit.
My preference would be Xander back on a 4 or 5 year deal. That'd be my preference, but I really, the vibes have been off. Like, I think he's going to walk.
Yeah,
I don't like the vibes.
He does make the most sense, though. He seems like the best one. It seems like there is that connection. I bet you if they bring Vasquez back to catch for another year or two, the vibes are probably okay.
Yeah, and I wouldn't hate.
Did you see that fucking catch he made the other day?
No, I missed this.
Brugden Odor, I think it was, I don't know if it was a bunt or whatever. He hit the ball. It was foul. He caught it. He like dove and caught it. Not dove. He caught it barehanded. And they're like, how? Here, let me see if I can pull it up. There goes my fucking.
While Brad's pulling that up, I'll just go on to the next, like Ed's point to like positions. Dude, I want Brandon Nimmo on the Red Sox so bad.
He'd be a good fit. No, he'd
such
be a good
perfect fit. And like, listen, I like Tommy Pham. Like, I don't love him as an everyday outfielder. Like, if he was just like a dude you rotate in all the time, would love that.
Well,
Absolutely love that.
I would actually say there are two reasons to bring Pham back aside from just being like a useful player. One, if they bring in Nemo, that's an injury risk there. He doesn't usually play a full season.
Yes.
Two, you can spell some of the lefty hitters for him. So if say Franchi Cordero has a strong month for the rest of the season and he comes in as like a bench bat, well, you're still going to need a right-handed bench bat, So I think Pham crosses a lot of he X's off a lot of things for what you want in your fourth outfielder. So I would love Pham to come back.
100%. And like I'm
all right, I'll pull it up.
Okay, good. Show that real quick. Christian Vasquez and his sick catching abilities.
6 pitches tonight out of the bullpen. Odor tries to butt and a
Cool.
Oh,
there we go, Christian. All right.
is the butt with his bare hand.
I hate how good he looks in that orange. Like he looks good in the uniform. Like,
It does. You got to see this fucking picture that I just saw of him with Bregman. It's such a good picture, and I'm just like, I hate it.
Oh, yeah, it's really good.
Oh, I like Bregman. I have a soft spot for him.
It's not Bregman that I hate. It's Vasquez and Bregman together. And it's like, God, why is it such a good picture?
100%. But yeah, like back to what we were talking about. Like I know a lot of people I know a lot of people have talked about bringing a potential first baseman. Like to me, like there's why. Like, you're bringing up Cassis next year. Like you are bringing him up next year,
if
and
not,
you have Hosmer as the backup.
Yeah,
like there's fucking bring him up. How isn't Cassis like 24 now, or is he 23?
He's 22.
He's 22.
He's 22, which is again why they're taking their time.
Which is fair. But yeah, I mean, if you're 23 at the start of next year, like this dude's a stud. He has nothing else to prove at AAA. Like, unless he gets a freak injury spring training next year, fucking bring him up. Like, we need to see him take his rightful place on the throne of Red Sox first baseman. Like,
and honestly, like I'm fine if he's not ready at the beginning of the season. I'm fine Hosmer starting at first and you have Bobby as a bench bat. I'm not like DFA Bobby. I'm fine with him just not as a starter. So.
And like, listen, if you could somehow bring in like a Jose Abreu on a 1 or 2 year deal.
Oh my God, I would love Abreu as a DH.
I would not.
Holy shit.
I'd love that so much. Yeah, even just as DH. That'd be a fantastic DH. A great JD replacement who, again, I'm on the fringe of saying JD should be replaced in general. Like, I don't even know if I'd want to bring him back. It's just his second half has been so concerning to me.
He's looked a little better of late, but yeah, there's something. His bat's slower. Like I don't have access to like the data for that, but I like it. It just looks like he's swinging slower.
It's that like again, it's with Xander as well. Like the power concerns. I don't like it at all. It's trending in the wrong direction, like for his age range, and I'm on the verge of saying replace him as the DH next year because if you can bring a guy like Jose Abreu, and I'd like him better.
I really genuinely do love Jose Abreu.
I'd love to see Jose Abreu take Matt Barnes' yard.
Yeah, he has done that before.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Not a fucking luck.
Man, like there just needs to. This needs to be a pivotal offseason for the Red Sox because next year should be the first go for it year on the chart.
I think that one way or the other we'll have a better idea of it because we'll know if Xander's still on the team and we'll know what's going to happen with Raffy at that point. So I think that for people that have been saying, like, I don't know what the plan is, we're going to have a better idea of that simply because there's
Can
so
we
much
all just agree that once the season's over, it's Heim time?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like,
100%.
He has to figure this out. Like, and I'm sure, I'm pretty confident in him, but he does have to do a good job this time.
So, Brady and I were talking about this in the last episode. And do you, and I'll ask you guys this. Do you believe that because there's rumors, there's murmurs and whatnot, rumblings and whatnot. You have Cora keeps saying the same thing. The other day, he kind of threw the batting, the hitting coach under the bus, rightfully so. And, do you think that Cora returns next year?
Yes, I do.
What makes you think that?
I think that he's not going to be able to get a job like this in another organization for a while. I think that there's still the stigma of the suspension there. I think that he has a good relationship with a lot of the players on the team. I think that Bloom has alluded to this before, that Bloom needs to give him better players to work with. I think that this just wasn't an ideal roster for Cora to have to work with. I think he did an excellent job with the team last year. He obviously has won a World Series for them before. I think that it's much more likely that we see Fatsy or Bush go before Cora.
Yeah, I 100% agree there.
I think people who call for Alex Cora to be fired are brain dead. Like, genuinely. Like, listen, man. I hate the guy's bullpen decisions, as much as the next guy, in general. But in terms of player management and, getting the most out of his guys, on an emotional level, which is the most important job of a manager. Don't ever forget that. I want nobody but Alex Cora. All of the best players on this team are so close with him. If you want to fucking kill the vibe, kill the clubhouse, you get rid of Alex Cora. That's how you kill the vibe. It's the bilingual thing as well. We have all these dudes we bring in who speak Spanish. Cora can keep bond with them on a level that just other managers just cannot. They just do not have the facilities to do. There's no one on.
What are your guys' thoughts on what Paul said?
Varitek next manager.
If Cora was to go, he'd be the guy for me. I love Tech, leader of men. It's just a shame that he's here when I think the right guy for the job is already here, because I really do love Cora. He has won here before, and there's no reason for me to think he can't do it again. He's given me zero reason to think otherwise. He's been dealt a fucking shit hand this year, dude. Injuries the entire season, a less than optimal roster for when you compare it to the best teams in the league.
When you compare it to the best teams that Cora has gotten to manage also in Boston, it's just but with Varitek, I'd like to see them make Varitek the bench coach next year. I think Venable's probably going to get a big league managing job somewhere. So I think it would be kind of a good way to ease Varitek a little more in.
If the Red Sox were in a...
Someone's pissing Penny off.
Yeah, someone's pissing Penny off, man. But if the Red Sox were to fire Cora, I think it would be a horrifically bad mistake. Horrifically bad. Him or Bloom, for the people who still call for Bloom's job. I think if you're firing a dude in year 3 of a 5-year plan, you're directionless as a franchise. I think that's a really stupid thing to do. I can start getting on the Pitchforks fire Bloom bandwagon if they stink next year too. That's when I'll start sharpening my pitchfork. I'm willing to give him at least another year, if not 2.
I think that if he gives Devers an extension next year, then I'm kind of whatever. If there's no extension going into 2024 and there hasn't been any real significant contract additions or that make up for the guys that they've lost over the last 2 years, I think that there's a real problem. That I think that there's something that's gone horribly wrong if that is what happens.
It should be non-negotiable that by the start of next season, Rafael Devers should be extended. He has to be.
If they haven't extended Devers, they better have traded for Ohtani and given him a 10-year extension or something like that.
Even then, I might still be pissed because Devers is our guy.
We want Tony. We don't
want Tony La Russa.
We had Tony La Russa. We had him, and we don't want him back.
Preferable alternative.
If you are listening to the recording, friend of the show, Crystal O'Keefe, just posted in our chat here, you want Tony La Russa, which we don't.
I was literally about to say the same thing, Paul.
It's the lighting in my room.
Yeah.
I have no idea what it is.
The audio listeners
let me see
commenter Paul. He said Brad looks like he's in witness protection in the dark, which is true. He looks like he's on Dateline, where he's the blacked out image. Or like the silhouette.
I'm a big fan of Paul's profile picture because it's like a baby hedgehog in like
it's a hedgehog. Oh my God.
With like a little seatbelt because he's going for a big trip,
Love that shit.
That's a little better, I guess.
Yeah, I can see a bit better. Good deal.
I don't mind witness protection, Brad, honestly. Like, I'm less intimidated by his handsomeness.
True.
Oh, dude, you're lying. Stop lying.
But yeah, man,
right. You're right. I'm not intimidated. That's fair. Hogdale, however.
It's Hogdale, bro.
Right, yeah. For the Red Sox, man, the only change that should be made this offseason is fucking firing the hitting coach out of a cannon. Okay, bye. You didn't do your job well enough.
I really feel like letting Tim Hires walk was a bad idea because it's obvious that he did something with the Red Sox organization, with the players, because Spatsy isn't doing shit.
Yeah, I don't like jumping on just like one person and being like, this guy sucks, fire him, he deserves to be unemployed. Like, I have no doubt that everybody in this organization is trying their best to win, but there's a disconnect, and you can see it in the approach of most of the hitters. No one's walking. The situational hitting has been garbage. Power is down substantially for a team that is supposed to hit a lot of home runs.
Yeah.
And some of that is on the players, but to me, the job of the hitting coach is to maximize the players that he's given, and I'm not seeing him really maximize anybody except maybe Christian Arroyo.
That's the thing is, like, everyone should have like a consistent, like, a mindset, an ethos that they're going with. Like, here's what our plan is. It feels like the Red Sox hitting just have no plan whatsoever. Absolutely none.
There hasn't been any plan.
Yeah, so, it's weird too. The approach has just been off. They're not taking pitches. They're swinging at the pitches that they shouldn't be. They're not swinging at pitches that they should be swinging at, and they're taking. It's just been a mess.
Like Raffy of late's really been irritating me like that. For some reason, he keeps swinging first pitch. Like, dude.
Oh, Raffy, he did that all year. He's done that all year.
It's like, why, dude? These guys are scared of you, man. You're one of the best hitters in this league. They aren't going to throw you a first pitch strike, dude. They just aren't. Most of the 90% of these dudes are worse than you, like, overall. Like, they are terrified.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's something that I've noticed that he will always go after, and then he'll usually take a pitch or two after that. And it's a little weird. I don't really know why he isn't a little more patient with that, but
dude, he picked up the bad habits from fucking Xander. We're like, I'm going to fall down 0-2 every single count. Except Xander has, like, the quickness in his swing to be able to dig himself out of that when he gets a pitch inside.
Yeah, Xander's not really the best guy to take lessons from with that.
He just has abnormally quick wrists, so
he's so good on two strikes.
Yeah,
he's literally like the league. I was just about to say the same thing. He's probably the best with two strikes.
Yeah,
he'll foul off like 12 fucking pitches and then like loop one out into like left center or some shit.
Yeah, man. This year in general, it's just been a nightmare. Nightmare season. A lot of the things that we expected to go right didn't, based on either injury or just pure bad luck.
So we were talking about this before the show. I actually think that I kind of want you to talk about a little more what we were talking about beforehand about the 50-50 signings and how also Reds. And I'm sorry, I'm repeating what Hogdale said earlier, but it was such a good point. Red Sox fans are not used to having a mediocre team recently. It's either been a competitive good team or just objectively a shit show. Like
one of the worst teams you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
And this has just been a mediocre team. It's not that fun to watch, but they're also not like an all-time bad team. Like there's talent on it. They just haven't been good.
Yeah, it's just like when you stack them up to the best teams in the American League. It's just no. Like, it just ain't there. Like, this ain't it, Chief. You're going to stack this team against the best teams, especially. You stack this team up pound for pound against the Astros. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, it's weird though because they've won both series against the Astros.
Yeah, I was about to
It's
say.
funny.
But the Blue Jays, for some reason, are just indestructible.
Oh my, own us. They own us so bad. Kevin Gausman is the ringleader of just owning the Boston Red Sox.
Dude, the game I was at this week, I actually went to the game that he started, and they were beating him around. They had so many opportunities to win that game, and they just bases loaded, no outs, ninth inning. Strikeout followed by a double play.
Like last year, the Red Sox were like the good vibes, like contender team. This year, like the vibes have gone completely sour. The Orioles have stolen the good vibes, and I don't like it. It sucks. Fucking assholes. I hate you.
See, that's what I mean though. The Orioles the last few years were like an absolute joke of a team. Yep. And we're complaining about being a few games below 500. Like, yeah, it sucks, but like this isn't like we're not just accumulating number 1 and number 2 overall draft picks for like the last 4 years either.
Mediocrity is a special kind of frustrating though, because you can point specifically to where the defects are. They're so obvious because you can see points in the team that are genuinely good. And then you see like, okay, well, they need to fix here, 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 and here.
You know who I feel bad in all of this? I feel bad for John Schreiber.
All right, let's move on here, guys, because we're like 50 minutes in. We've yet to talk about the series.
That's by design. That was by design. Fuck, genuinely, like.
Well, there's things we needed to talk about too. I mean, there was actually a win.
2 wins.
True. Now what? They're only 6 games back at the wild card.
There was a series win. Well, one thing that happened is we got Trevor Story back, which also meant that Jaron Duran got optioned back to Worcester, which is something that a lot of people wanted. I guess Bobby was under the impression that he was probably going to be on the chopping block.
I missed that. What did Bobby say?
There was I don't know if there's anything specifically that he said. I did read somewhere. No, it wasn't. I read somewhere. It was I was listening to EEI, and they were talking about how he must be feeling a lot better knowing that Jaron Duran was the one who got optioned when Story came back, because there was talks that Arroyo is going to be playing first base, like he's going to be playing first base tomorrow. So they're not going to need Bobby for that game, right? So there's a good chance that he would have been optioned. But instead,
need Bobby to play shortstop.
Oh, geez. Well, I mean,
let's go.
Let's go. He did good the other day.
Yeah, he did.
By the way, looked it up. The Red Sox are currently 7 games back of the wild card. So that's great. If I really have my hope has run out for this year. Like maybe it'll start to come back. If you sweep the Twins, who are one of like the 4 teams you need to fail spectacularly to in order for them to get a playoff spot. So if you sweep the Twins and like maybe one of the other 3 teams also gets swept, I'll start getting hope back. But
I have no hope at this point. My hope is that we just get to watch some plug guys make their debuts. We get to see some good baseball, but I don't think that playoffs is there. I'm happy to be wrong about that.
Which is so frustrating, man. Like, and a reason so many Sox fans get mad about this year, and I get the anger. I don't like having my time wasted, and this year genuinely felt like a filler year, where like if X, and X goes right, maybe we can make the playoffs and hopefully make some noise. I don't know, man. Like, I understand the people who are like, you've wasted my time. And, again, I'm not on the fire bloom train. I'm ready for next year.
All right. So Wacha, he ends up pitching, 6 innings the other day. Brasier comes in and gives up I think he gave up 4 runs, right?
Yes. Based on memory.
Whatever it was ridiculous because he didn't even get an out. And he get him out of here. But the Red Sox ended up winning because Xander ended up hitting a 3-run home run, and then he spiked the bat. And everybody thought he did that because he was pissed. It was more along the lines that he was, about fucking time. Yesterday, Dick Mountain goes 7 innings, struck out 11, gave up 3 hits, 1 walk. And then Familia comes in. He can't even get out of 1 inning.
Bummer.
Thanks, bum. I don't even think I want to talk about today's game. 12-4. Jesus Christ.
But JD homered, so there's something. And Franchi has homered 4 times in 1 week, so that's kind of neat.
Yay! Our AAA king.
But yeah, today did suck.
Quadruple A king.
Yeah, Quadruple A king doubled his major league home runs this year. That's all I'm saying. He's up to 8. He's going to be ahead of JD by the end of the year. I'm calling it now.
Yeah,
right.
Honestly.
Let's look ahead, and then you twats can talk about whatever you'd like. Tomorrow we got Brian Bayo going up against Dylan Bundy, Carter Crawford versus Archer, Michael Wacha versus Joe Ryan. I saw a picture the other day of Joe Ryan. And he looks like that dude from Stranger Things. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's spot on. I like Joe Ryan. Like, just genuinely, that's all I have to say. I wish he was a Red Sox. I think he's a very good pitcher.
What do we think against the Twins?
What was the first series? What was the first matchup? Let's just do game.
Bayo versus Bundy.
I think they can beat Bundy. I like watching Bayo pitch, so I'm going to say Red Sox tomorrow. Sure.
I've really liked how Bayo has looked, and it's just I cannot wait to see him just the start of next year, like the full off season, like of him being prepped up and ready to start in the major leagues. Because this kid's stuff is fucking filthy, and I think they can take the game tomorrow. Yeah, I think they can win.
What about the series?
Sweeper, the season's over. Genuinely,
I think they're going to take 2 out of 3. I don't think they're going to sweep just because I don't believe in this team to be. I think that I hope they have a good September, but I just don't think it's going to be enough for a playoff round. So against a good team like the Twins, I think 2 out of 3 is the best you can hope for.
Yeah, and I agree with that, but also sweeper, the season is over.
I think they take 1.
Which one?
Let's go.
Okay, which one? That's my question.
I think they take the Archer one.
Yeah.
I think Bayo's going to win because he's been getting better each start. So I think that this was going to be the one that he finally gets that W. He finally puts it all together.
Okay, he could pitch well, and they'll still lose.
Nah, but I think that he's going to get that win. That's all I'm saying is I think he's going to get it because I don't think they've won a single game that he's pitched in since he's been up.
He's 0-3.
Yeah, it's overdue.
He's got the DeGrom luck.
Yeah, so I actually think it is going to be 2 out of 3 just because I think they're going to beat up on Archer also.
I think it's going to be 1, and it's going to be the Archer game.
I think the Wacha Ryan game is going to be fun. I think that's going to be an entertaining game because I like both of them.
Yep, could see that.
All right. Anything else you gentlemen would like to chat about before we end this episode?
I just want to make one comment to Hogdale about filler and being a waste of time.
Yeah,
so you want to fill? You want to?
Yeah. I just want to say something really quickly. I want to drop some of my nerd shit on you, Hogdale.
Let's go.
Because if it wasn't for filler, we wouldn't have had the 2 best episodes of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, the driving cars episode.
The driving cars episode, and the one where Nappa and Vegeta go to that insect planet, lead a rebellion to save it, and then just callously blow everything up at the end of it because they were bored. Those are the 2 best episodes of the show. They are both very clearly filler. So I'm just saying, don't knock all filler, man.
Oh, man.
Oh, you got the moon, too. Nice touch.
Listen, man, I grew up in the Naruto generation where 90% of that filler was fucking dog shit. All right? I got a negative connotation.
It had the Tony the Tiger album, though, where, the bad guy from the first episode took, a magic formula and got fucking transformed into, a Tony the Tiger monster.
Crystal is absolutely owning us in the fucking chat.
No, she's absolutely right. This is...
Own.
Yeah, listen, I saved it for the last 5 minutes. I saved my nerd shit for the last 5 minutes, okay?
Yeah. I'm a fucking
That's
geek.
it. That's all I'm going to say. Don't knock my filler gold, Hogdale.
Yeah.
And don't get me started about Yu-Gi-Oh!
Thanks for watching. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Pesky Report. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review.
Thank you for listening to this Belly Up Sports Podcast Network product. Some said we go belly up, so we made it our name, and we're still here.